Good morning. How are you?
How's it going, Mitch?
Doing good. Just
Yeah,
hanging out, playing my guitar, thinking about life.
nice. How was Cabo?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was really
Yeah, I
good. Yeah,
bet.
you need to come next year.
I'm there, man.
It's really fun. And it's great because it's only a little bit of work and a lot of fun.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. I like fun.
Right? Yeah, it's better than not having fun.
Yeah, I'm not good at not having fun. Let's see who we waiting for here. Cam's coming on. Where are you, Cam? Get on here. Ryan. So I'm debating if I want to join a rock band and grow my hair back.
I think I'm for it.
I think so.
It should be
I
high on the
tried growing it
priority
back a
list.
while ago, but it didn't work.
Yeah?
Uh,
How about the rock band?
yeah, well, I had a rock band for many years. When I was
Wow,
younger, I played out for 8 years all over New England. It
that's
was
cool.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I always tell people I was cool before this shit happened.
Did you ever
I think
Let's
you're
see.
still cool.
Oh yeah.
I think
Mitch, are you bragging? Mitch, you
I
bragging
am.
about being part of the Twisted Sisters again?
I am. The good old days. Yeah. Yeah. No, mine was called the Twisted Hairs, but yeah.
Oh, hold on. He was part of the
There he is. Okay, good.
hold on, who are the girls from England with Posh and all that
The
stuff?
Spice Girls?
The Spice
Yeah, he
Girls.
was
Yeah.
one of the Spice Girls.
Was he
Yeah.
Baldy Spice?
Baldy Spice. Yeah.
He could be
Yeah.
one of the, you don't have the 7 doors, you have the 8 doors now, and you're Baldy.
Right.
Dopey, grumpy, Baldy, goofy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're gonna stop
Hey,
picking on Mitch today. It's not
hold
Mitch Pick
on,
Day.
hold on, Mitch. Here's the rule of the game. You started it on yourself. We just jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
Russ is
Shorty
like,
Spice. Thanks,
wow.
Eddie. Yeah.
Oh, I was grabbing
Yeah.
the low-hanging fruit. Sorry.
Hey, I'm a good target, and it's funny. My wife is, I don't let my wife come see me speak anymore because usually all my jokes are about my wife. And let me make
You
sure she's
did
not on
that.
here. And she was in the audience, when I was speaking in Cabo, and I was luckily I was refraining from any short girl jokes because my wife's only 4'9".
Nice.
That was why I married her because she fit. I walked around looking for someone that
Yeah.
actually fit.
Good candidate.
Anyways, so welcome everybody to Thursday top producer panel of experts to teach you stuff that we don't really know about, but we fake it really, really well. I'm not in a very serious mood today. And by the way, before we get rolling, if you guys haven't tried my olive oil drink, you got to do it. It's like changed the game dramatically. For my entire life, it's changed dramatically. Um, so I'm on fire every day. I started 2 new companies. I did see, if you look close, there is one hair growing back. Uh, anyways, so today we are talking about prospect, connect, and convert. So this real estate wealth building. So this could be a multitude of things that we'll go around the room with today, and just get your opinions on it. I have my own opinions on it, and some things I want to share. So let's go ahead and start with my other fellow man that can appreciate baldness, Matt. What's
Wait,
up,
I want
buddy?
to hear what the olive oil drink is first.
Okay. So everybody who's listening to this is the most amazing thing this happened. I'll tell you the 5 minute story to it. So I've lost my creativity for a while, both in my guitar playing, in my entrepreneurship. It's been away for like 4 or 5 years, and my guitar playing's gotten back, but my creativity writing songs has been really bad. And I had to start new companies, which I always start companies if you know me. And so I was researching on the authority on information and medical stuff, TikTok. And I found a drink that was olive oil, cayenne pepper, and chia seeds. Right. So I added the turmeric and the black pepper. But I literally stopped. I started it this December 1st. I had my blood work done on December 28th. And I have diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. My cholesterol was ridiculously good, way below where it needs to be. My diabetes is completely under control, and I'm a 1 to 2 uh, blood pressure pill a day. I've had a few strokes, and that's why I have to do that. And I'm averaging 2 to 3 pills a week now, and it's all because of sleep. But more importantly, I started a property management company. I'm starting a title company right now. I have all this stuff that I'm doing now because I got my entrepreneur brain back, and the energy level is off the charts. I drink it every morning. It's olive oil, about a half to three quarters of glass, a shot glass. Chia seeds, a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, half a teaspoon of turmeric, and a little splash of black pepper, which activates the turmeric. And you let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes. And I just do it while I'm working out, so it's usually 30 minutes. And then you down it. I'm not hungry at all during the day. I'm doing 22-hour fasts every day now, between 4 and 6, and unbelievable energy, lost weight, and my blood work is amazing. So, highly recommended. I just did a video on TikTok about health, and health is so important for you to move forward in this crazy business, right? If you're not healthy and you feel like crap every day, it's just not good. I mean, Craig and I were talking about this in Cabo last week because Craig's lost a bunch of weight. It looks phenomenal. He was very sexy in his bathing suit. I was like, wow, what a man. Anyways, so let's get rolling here. Matt, go ahead. You started up.
Okay, so the topic is, as I understand it, prospect, connect, convert.
Yep.
I guess I'll hit on something that I always mention on these calls when we talk about lead generation, is that you got to be doing something to generate business. There's so many different things that you can do, but you gotta do something, whether it's stuff that's absolutely free, like, and old school, like going around and knocking on doors, or doing open houses. We've got some new agents right now that I'm just like a broken record, like, do open houses, just do open houses, because we all know that online leads, the conversion rate is very low. And all you're trying to do is get in front of a human being that wants to actually buy or sell a house. And when you do an open house and you put out lots of signs, they walk in and meet you, right? So open houses are always the easiest thing to do. I do a lot of direct mail. I do handwritten notes, which I've referred to some people on this call before. It's a company called Letter Labs, LETTRLABS, and they have machines that write postcards that look like they're handwritten. And I experiment with a lot of different messages to get people to call me. Everything that you're going to do right now, you're going to get a lower return because fewer people, if you're going after listings, which I am, you're going to get a lower return because there's just fewer people selling because of where interest rates are and so forth, right? But it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. So you've got to do something. If you do use Letter Labs, tell them that I referred you. In fact, I'll type that in the chat here so that everybody, because I think I experimented with a bunch of different handwritten note companies out there, and I found this one, which I think works really well, and they do a great job. Letterlabs.com. I'll put it in there. Oh, maybe that was to. At any rate, I'll put it in the other chat here in a minute. But so you got to do something, and you just have to pick something. I also use a company called Real Estate Marketing of California that a lot of people, you don't have to just they do it all over the country. They send out monthly market updates for subdivisions, neighborhoods, communities, etc. And it's very important on that to always put something in there that differentiates you from your competition. So what do you do differently? So I've lately been using a pitch that just says, I can sell your home in one weekend, no signs, no open houses, no multiple days of showings. And I got a call the other day from somebody who said, I'm not selling my house, but I just want to let you know that's a really compelling message. And if I were to sell my house, I would call you. So that was really worth it for me because, and I kind of grilled him on that and said, tell me what about it you liked and et cetera. So you got to always be testing. The bottom line is we're in the lead generation business, and you've got to always be thinking about how are you going to generate leads. We're in the lead generation business. And it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. It doesn't matter what your budget is. If you don't have a budget, then do open houses. Do open houses 7 days a week. Find a vacant listing. Mitch gave a great tip a while back, which is put a sticker on your laptop that says real estate questions, ask me, and sit at Starbucks all day. The bottom line is you cannot just stay at home and hope the business is going to come to you, because it's not going to. And the market is slower because fewer people are selling. There's fewer transactions. That means you got to be that much more aggressive to go out and get it.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing, again, I primarily go after, the last thing is, if you're going to be meeting people online, you've got to have something to send them. And so you need some sort of like a personal brochure or resume describing who you are, what you do, and what differentiates you from the competition that you can email out to people. So that could be a pre-listing packet, an information packet, etc. Very important to have. You should personalize it, so you have pictures of if you're just a solo agent, maybe pictures of you and your family, your pets, whatever. People work with people that they trust and like. And so once you have a prospect, you need to be able to present yourself in such a way so that they want to work with you, that they like you, that they trust you, etc. So that's what I would give you this morning. I hope that's helpful.
That's great. It's a lot of really good stuff. And you said the most important words, and it's funny, I'll speak in front of anywhere between 200,000 people and say, what business are we in? Not one person will get it right. We're in the relationship business. We're in the people business. No, you're in the lead generation business. If you're not generating leads, you don't have relationships to have. So the only way you build new relationships is by that. So yeah, great stuff. Cam, let's go to you.
Hey, let David Lawson in.
Oh, he was here a second ago.
Okay, never mind. He put it in the chat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Cam.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's obviously today's topic is vital. It's the key to our whole business, right? And it's going to be what allows agents to survive and to thrive during market shifts, right? Prospecting. When the market's just going crazy hot, people are coming out of the woodwork to buy and sell homes. It's a great time to be a realtor, but that's not typical. That's not normal. And during typical markets or typical cycles, it's going to be up to you to generate that business. And with prospecting for obviously we're taking this on and we're looking at it as a very kind of overall, we're looking at this as a huge thing. Because prospecting, you guys, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of ways that you can be prospecting. And I think what's really important to think about or to focus on with that is you each need to decide on what prospecting you are going to do. Okay, really important. There's a lot of prospecting that I personally won't do, and I'm sure you or your agents that there's prospecting that they don't want to do or they don't like doing, or it's just not their cup of tea. And what I think is really important is focusing on the prospecting that you're willing to do consistently and that you enjoy doing. Okay. If you refuse to call anyone and you will not call anyone, you're going to need to talk to people. So hire somebody that will. There's going to be conversations that need to be had on the phone. And if you refuse to do that, you need to have somebody that will. But it's very important to try to focus in on the things that you are going to do and be consistent with it, because prospecting is all about consistency. Real quick, two types of prospecting, obviously. The inbound prospecting, which is the good stuff. It's when people are calling you and they want to give you referrals and they want to, have you come out and look at their house. That's awesome. And inbound leads are obviously something we are constantly working towards, and we're kind of trying to obviously constantly attract. But the reality is that most of our business is going to be generated from outbound prospecting, which means you're the one that's doing the text, you're the one that's making the call, you're the one that's doing the door knocking. And because of that, it is a lot more work. So that ties right back into make sure that you're picking things that you enjoy doing, right? So that you can be consistent with it. With prospecting, it requires tons of motivation. That's just the key to all of it, really. The only reason we prospect is because we are able to self-motivate to achieve our goals where we want to go. And to do that, you have to have high energy. It doesn't matter if you're going to do orange juice or olive juice or whatever it was Mitch was doing. it doesn't matter. You have to be focusing on and motivating yourself daily so that you hit those prospecting, your targets or your goals. Motivation always dwindles or always goes down when we're not having success, right? And that's just the truth, is that if you're busting the phones or you're doing the work and you're just not having success, your motivation is going to dwindle. And that's why you always need to reflect on your successes. So when you are every single day, when you're done with your business and you're kind of packing up or ready, getting the next day ready, I always write down all of the successes that I have. And you guys, I got a whole book full of them. I got this whole book full of, my daily successes here. And I reflect on them when that motivation starts going down. When I start feeling like, I suck. This is my 35th call and I haven't got one appointment or I haven't got one positive. I haven't had a guy answer the phone today. I can go back and look at those successes that I've had, remotivate myself, remind myself that I'm an excellent agent, just like you guys are, and you're able to continue doing the prospecting. Those are the biggest things I want to lead off. I know we got a lot of people on today. So really, it's all about motivation. Do your outbound prospecting. It is going to be the difference between if you have a prosperous 2024 or if you have another year like 2023 where you're always looking for something new. Get the outbound prospecting done, and when you do that, you're going to have success. The last thing I'll leave you guys with is, if you're like me and your motivation is based on the success that you're having, you need to be structuring all of your prospecting to go until you have success. Yeah, that means if you have to call 5, 10, 15, 20 people and have conversations with them, and it takes you that many calls to have an appointment or to have a successful conversation, you need to be planning to have 15, 20, 25 calls. If you can do it in 2 calls, great. Hey, that's even better. I would like that. But if you work towards having a successful day prospecting instead of just trying to hit your numbers, you're going to be able to stay much more motivated. It's going to be able to keep you higher energy and you'll have more success. So that's what I got for you guys today.
Awesome stuff as always. Mr. Yabor, because I like your name.
Thank you, Mitch. Hey guys. So this is a great subject. You got to realize that prospecting is a contact sport, right? We've heard that from coaches. And prospecting is you doing outbound looking, right? If you're not prospecting or if you're not staying in touch with your past clients, just know that somebody else is. So if you're not staying in touch with them, someone else is. So you need to stay in touch with your clients because other people are. Newer agents have no boundaries. They just go after it. So you have to really protect your past business clients. But there's prospecting and then there's opportunities. So Matt was saying, if you're a new agent, go do an open house. Well, that's an opportunity. They're walking in. You can't predict how many people you're going to have show up at an open house. You can predict how many doors you're knocking on. So if I go knock on 100 doors, that's predictable. I don't know how many people are going to answer them, like Cameron was just saying. But then I don't know how many people are going to come into my opportunity world, sitting in the Starbucks. Ask me a question. You might have 1, you might have 20. So you have to understand the difference. Then the connection part. We learned very early on. I ran a buyer team for 5 years in Rancho Santa Fe, which is a very high-end luxury market. For 5 years, back in the early 2000s, we knew 50% of every call that came into our office was a sign call. Because back then, signs were still very popular for buyers to call on. So we built some conversion scripts off of sign calls. We knew that if somebody called in and wanted to know the price and you told them the price, well, guess what? 90% of them were driving in neighborhoods that they weren't able to buy in. So if that's true, you would give them a price and then they'd say thank you and hang up. So we stopped giving them the price. We'd convert that call. We'd get them interested. Hey, what is it about that house that you liked when you were driving around? What is it? And they would tell you. Great. And then what you would do is you would hear the real reason why they called on the sign, because they already passed 10 other ones. So we started to hone in on conversion scripts that we knew were based on human behavior. So human behavior says things like, hey, and Matt said this, trust and like, right? Most coaches, they teach conversions from rapport. It doesn't work 90% of the time on the phone. You have to build trust and then earn rapport later. If somebody trusts you long enough to stay on the phone an extra 10 or 15 seconds, that trust was because you asked them a question where they gave you an item of value. What was the real reason they're contacting you? It's not the price. It's typically something about the marketing. So when you get really good at asking, hey, what is it about that property? Or what is it about my listing that you liked? Oh, it looks like it has a view. Oh, great. So you're looking for a view. The moment you say you're looking for a view, their behavior says, wow, I'm talking to somebody who knows I'm looking for a view. I've never told anybody that before. I've just called and got prices, right? So this works. So when you start to study the conversion, I like to use the word opportunity. So if you think everybody is an opportunity or a prospect, because you got them to open the door, now you're in control. But an opportunity is somebody who called with control, and you need to flip that to be somebody who actually wants to help them because they're having a bad experience just calling a bunch of realtors. So you want to stop the madness for them. You want to help them. You show them how much you want to help them. You ask them really good questions. So you get back to them, you give them a trust value. Hey, I heard you. What are you looking for? RV parking. Great. Other than RV parking, what else is going to be really important to you in this project? I just want to know the price. Okay, great. Well, that house is listed for, $3 million. What price range were you looking for? Go right back and ask, open-ended. But what were you looking for? Oh, we're nowhere near that price. We're barely over $1 million. Great. Other than $1 million in RV parking, what else are you looking for? Like, I just go right back, anchor to what they really said. I don't interrupt them by saying, oh, you can't afford what you called on. I don't want to do that. That would ruin the relationship, the opportunity. So you can start to convert. You'll see conversion ratios improve in all your conversations when you begin to show people how much you really care about them. So what you say matters, how you say it matters more, right? So going into that direction, newer agents have two ways of earning business. They either have to prospect or they have to just wait for opportunities. It's best if you do both, okay? You run around your office, you talk to other top producers that have listings, you say, hey, what are you doing with all your buyer leads? I'd love to pay you a 25% referral fee for every one of your buyer leads. There are agents in most offices who are dominant listing agents. They get a lot of buyer leads. If I came to Matt, you got 22 listings right now. Who's handling all your buyer leads, right? That would just be a great question to ask the top producer. Matt might say, well, I got my own team. We do it. Okay, great. Well, I'll take the gravy. I'll take the ones that aren't in your neighborhood where your team focuses. Give me the ones that are out of the area. I'll take those leads. I'll still pay you a 25% referral fee if I can convert them. We used to call those trash can leads in our old office. Where are your trash can leads? I want them all. Then we'd give them to a lender. We'd have a lender revive them, then give them back to a newer agent. We would create business that way. The last thing I want to really share right there in this converting, an appointment or a lead to an appointment, an opportunity to a lead, and then a lead to an appointment. The appointment is really hard to get for newer agents. Most of us know how to go right from opportunities straight into an appointment. We know how to do that. People are wired. Again, human behavior says if you give somebody a choice, they consider the choice before they say yes or no. So if I said, hey, Mitch, would you like to get together for lunch this week? How would Wednesday afternoon be? Or maybe we could do happy hour Friday. You're going to think about Wednesday and Friday before you say no to me. What you're really going to do is you're going to say, yeah, you know what? Lunch does sound good. Not Wednesday afternoon. I'm busy. Not Friday. Could we get together on Saturday? Of course we can. Now I've got an appointment, right? It's that easy. Doesn't always, I make it sound easy, but believe me, if you start to practice this, it's like blackjack. If you know the odds in Vegas, 51%, if you do certain things, you're always going to have consistent numbers. We did this for 5 years with 5 people. We tripled our business in year 3 from having these new script behaviors, because what we were doing was we were focused on the consumer's question and earned it by giving it back to them by saying, is this what I heard? You're looking for 2,100 square feet, single level on a cul-de-sac. You're looking for a house with a view. You're looking for. So the trust was immediately just having 15 or 20 extra seconds. And then what we knew is we had to get off the phone right away, because that's malpractice. If we keep them on the phone too long, it was all about, I heard you, here's what you're looking for, and what would be the easiest way for me to send you that information. Close with getting their information, touch them a second time, make sure you got the information correctly. You don't send them nothing. Just, hey, it was great talking to you. Just let me know this comes to you, okay? Get them to reciprocate. Yes, Brian, you found me. Great. Hey, here's what we talked about. You said you're looking for a property that was about $1 million with a view. What else would be important before I send you any properties? Train them to speak back to me. Do one more time. So I touch them 3 or 4 times. I don't send them nothing, you guys, except for an acknowledgement that we're in relationship. But you're doing malpractice to them if you send them property right away, and then they're gone. They're out running around looking at property without you. And that's how newer agents, unfortunately, learn. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. They're having a bad experience. They don't have good habits yet. And you learn good habits by missing out on a lot of really good opportunities when you find out later. So you build avatars that allow you to not have those things happen to you anymore. So that's it. That helps.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, you said something in there. What did you say that I liked? Training them. Yes, it's important to train your customers, because if you don't, they'll train you. I mean, I love that. We got next Ross from the desert.
Hey guys,
What's up, buddy?
cool. Well, just living the dream out here. It's kind of windy, but it's all
Windy.
good.
You
Hey,
tell your hair,
everybody.
your hair looks windblown, so I understand.
It was. I styled it as wind swept. That's what I call it. I like it.
It's there you go.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good look. So, love the things that Cam started off with. Find the activities you enjoy, and then find what you can excel at. So I'll tell you what I found when I started my early career. So the way I'll just tell you the story of my career, because it started off with my time being worth absolutely $0, and to where I can help people with their lead generation today. So when I started in 2010, the market was very nice. I was selling properties for $55 a square foot. And there was no buyers, there's no sellers, it was all REOs. And if you're looking at bank-owned properties, as I'm trying to find activities that I like open houses, a lot of them had the air conditioning stolen out of them already. So if I joined in August in my real estate business, it's like 120 degrees out here in Palm Desert. And I'm like sweating my face off, sitting on a countertop in a $130,000 house that's 3,500 square feet, and just waiting for somebody to walk in and be like, hey, what's up? Because I knew my time was here. So graduated from that, got my own listing. It had AC. So that was a huge plus. And I used that as my office. That was my 9 to 5. I told myself my time's worth nothing. This is my 9 to 5. I put up signs. I mastered that neighborhood. I knew everything that was active. I know who was looking at it. I knew everything about every single property that was in a half-mile radius, because there was quite a few REOs on the market at that time. So when somebody would walk in, if they weren't interested in this house, I'd ask them, well, hey, I know of 3 other properties that are vacant right now that I don't need an appointment. I can show you them right now. And right then I got my face-to-face appointment and took them out to see multiple properties, not only the one I was sitting in, but I just kicked the sign down in front of the house and peeled out, went and showed the houses, and then earned their trust and got clients that way. That was my time worth 0. I'm going to go sweat it out. I'm going to grind. And when the opportunity came, I was ready, because I was going to make myself a master. I wasn't a master of real estate, but in that little micro market, tiny little neighborhood, I knew my stuff. And that's how it started branching out until it got valley wide. So finding something that you liked. I knew I liked open houses. And so I started there, and all of a sudden I needed more leads. I was doing more deals. And so I needed those inbound leads. And so I started paying Zillow a little bit of money, and my phone started ringing, which was nice. Instead of people having to come inside a house that they weren't really comfortable with, they're actually calling me on homes. So I loved how Brian was talking about keep the call short, because I had to learn the hard way. You don't want to give away free information, because if you're on the phone with someone who's calling about a specific property and you answer all their questions, they don't need you anymore. They can move on whether they like that property or not. You become irrelevant. You need to have people on the hook a bit. So some of the things we do on those inbound leads is we just make the appointment, and we let them know, no matter how many questions they ask, hey, we're going to address those at the property. And I'm going to take notes of everything that you're saying right now. And I can't wait to have all this detailed information for you when I meet you at the property. And boom, we're off the phone, and they are now having a face-to-face appointment. I think what we need to realize when we're prospecting, everything is to get a face-to-face appointment, whether we're sending mailers whether we're
Mhm.
door knocking, whether anything we're doing, we're trying to skip steps to get a face to face. That's why if you don't have a budget, open houses are perfect because you're skipping the pens, you're skipping the mailers. If you don't have a budget yet, you can just get that face to face meeting immediately. If nobody's walking in, go knock on their door, get that face to face meeting. So that's what prospecting is trying to do. Don't lose the sight of what the end goal is, and that's just to be in front of someone, earn their trust, and then earn their business. So from paying for Zillow leads, we got up to building a team because we were able to afford more leads and train people up. And like Matt said, like, hey, go do open houses, like when you first start, time isn't worth anything. So encourage everybody to go out and kind of rinse and repeat the business that we're doing because we're seeing success. And then Zillow Flex came along, and like this month, they're going to hand me 300 leads, 300 people that are interested in calling on homes. So it's evolved into something, and now we're working with like 24 buyers agents, and it's just really fun now to see other people's teams develop or businesses developed. And with EXP, the fact that we don't need to keep people under our thumb on the team, it's like, hey, do this, and then we'll launch you into a 16K capper, and then we get to work together on another capacity. So we get to raise people up. We're in a sphere to where we don't have to really control people that we're giving leads to. We're actually raising them up so that they can go out and just do the same exact thing that we're doing, so we can grow this great company and grow our sphere. We got to also remember, like, we got a prospect. We also have to understand why we joined this great company so that we can use all these tools. So had a couple more notes, I think. Don't give away free information. That's good. And find activities you like. So, oh, and Brian, when you said that if you're not following up with your old or with your people you closed, somebody else is, like, that is your inbound. Once you get the outbound leads going, those people you convert, they become your inbound. So if you're not working your sphere and people that you closed before, they're going to go with somebody else. People are forgetful and fickle when it comes to like some dollar signs flashing in front of their face, the equity they have in their home. So stay active, stay in front of them, and always just make sure you're creating those outbound referrals that you're working on into inbounds by staying in front of them, because that's called repeat business, and that's how we all stay afloat. So that's my little 2 cents on it. Super fun topic.
Yeah, it is funny, and I'll talk when I get up a little bit more about USphere, because that's the least used tool in the arsenal that nobody puts together. All right, Mr. Lurch. Look at the tan. Look at that tan you still have from Cabo. That's pretty impressive. Because you know you're not getting that up in Philly.
Golf season started. It's really pretty today. It's 72 degrees, so I'm actually going to go play this afternoon.
It's always sunny in Philadelphia, right?
That's it, because I'm thinking about you guys all the time. So everybody's hit on great things. You guys know me long enough on this call that I'm kind of blunt and to the point. And, you know, I've said this number before. Write it down. 83% of the agents don't do crap after they sell the house. So you have all these orphans out there. On top of it, we can sit here and talk till we're blue in the face about what you should do. It's whether you do it. With every action, there's a reaction. How many times have we gone to a conference, taken information and put it in the drawer? Garbage in is garbage out.
Yep.
You can't win a game if you're not on the freaking field. You can't be a millionaire if you're not thinking like a millionaire. Mm-hmm. When we were in Cabo, my whole mindset changed on one thing. Somebody said at one point, he goes, I'm not focusing on $1 million company anymore. I'm focusing on a $100 million company. How can I generate revenue of a $100 million company? And he broke it down. Our challenges, we're all thinking so damn small in our snow globe, even in our prospecting, that we get in our own mind. I don't care if you have no money. I don't care if you're dead flat broke. I got a 20-year-old kid who came to sell real estate with us 7 months ago. His first find was going out and checking out, looking for sale by owners on Facebook. That's prospecting. He got the listing and sold the thing. The kid's in college. Do the math, everybody. He lives at home. Then he went out and did what else I said. Go out and send blank letters out to neighborhoods saying you have a buyer looking for $1.5 million in this neighborhood. There's normally $1.2 million. Guess what? He has 2 pocket listings for $1.5 million. It's not a matter that you can't. It's a matter of doing the work and listening to what we say. Do what's good for you. Matty's got these great mailers that he goes out, but he can afford to send them. If you can't afford them, go knock doors. I got 2 girls that were knocking luxury doors. They just picked a $3 million pocket listing up this past week. Everything from what we've talked about. You just got to go do it. We've all talked about picking the phone up. There was a guy that was on the TV, on the radio the other day, and my wife was driving and she called me. She goes, Craig, why don't you stop doing your mailers? I was like, first of all, I'm willing to listen, but I'm not going to say no. Normally I'd say, let me mind your own business. I know what I'm doing. I've learned that's the wrong answer. So the bottom line comes down to it is the guy was talking about in this market, the only time people are getting business is if they're touching their client on the phone 4 times in 12 months, minimum 4 times in 12 months. Every month's a little much. So I've been doing that. Plus the people that I'm mailing to are the people that are in my sphere. And I'm cultivating them, doing different things with them. We gave roses out at Christmas. I mean, not Christmas, at Valentine's Day. Didn't cost me a dime unless they went and vouched it. We did a flyer, we mailed it to everybody. Whoever went into it, did it. And guess what? The florist is billing me. So go to the people that are your past clients. Go prospect around houses that just sold and door knocks. Say, by the way, here's a market update of what's taking place. Even if you don't have the listing, it went to settlement already. 83% of those agents aren't doing it. So you want something to do? Get out of your desk. We shouldn't have an office. That's the best part about EXP. And I know I'm preaching here. The bottom line is get in the game. Get in the game and do something. There's tons of ideas here. And I just gave you 4 of them that cost nothing. So sorry, guys. I'm just
You're
like,
good. I love what your little
get in the freaking fight.
gangster Craig comes out. I love it.
No, but you can't win a fight if you're not in the fight.
I
You
agree.
walk up a dark alley and say, okay, kill me and stab me. Get the freak out of here. Get in the
Yep.
fight. Pretend you have no money and you're losing your house. Then you're going to fight. You're going to see how bad you go to work then.
Yep. I used to tell my kids, I mean, my agents, I said, think like if you do not sell a house this week, that you are going to lose 1 kid every week that you don't sell a house. Of course, a couple of them said, okay. But all right, Karina.
Hello.
Hola.
So I
Listen
love
up,
this
everybody.
topic. And Craig, that was spectacular. I love the idea of 4 times, which really is once a quarter, right? That you're reaching out to your clients in person or on the phone. And to Craig's point, something that I've been doing is I've split up my past clients into kind of categories. So I with those categories, they all ended up on a piece of paper, and different categories got so many in each little box. And then per holiday this year, I've been handwriting cards and putting in a $5 scratch off ticket and literally driving to their homes as a drive-by shooting almost. And Jersey's in Florida, right? And so for that, what I've been doing is being able to drop by and say, hey, how's it going? I'm making that face-to-face, because I think I must have heard the same thing you did, Craig. And I heard it back in January. So Valentine's Day did it. I've got my little shamrock earrings on today because I kind of space out how many people I hit per day, because you still have to do other work. So I'm trying to hit 2 to 3 a day, or if I end up trapped at their house because they want to talk my ear off, I'm sitting down and having that conversation, because it usually leads to a referral, or that they have something else going on in their life and they need my help. So that is a really great strategy. The scratch off tickets, you don't have to do $5. You could do a $1 scratch off ticket. Go to the store and buy some little chocolates and throw it in a bag and just give them something. It doesn't have to be big. It's more of the reason that you're going to knock on that door. I never really did that before. I'm very high touch, as you all know, with my clients and the things that I mail to them, and I talk to them throughout the year. But this year, because of the way everything is, I don't want them to forget me for any reason. My sphere's always been where I've driven my business from. When I first came to Florida from New Jersey, I didn't know anybody. My kids were in school, so I met the baseball team and the crew team, and that was about it. And so when I started real estate, the market was down, and I will tell you, I leveraged the internet. I leveraged LinkedIn, Facebook. Nobody was really doing anything about real estate on Facebook. I come with that tech sales background, so I posted everywhere. Everyone around the world knew I had arrived into real estate. And from that, I ended up finding out that my old clients at Northrop Grumman in Bethpage, New York, were now being transferred down here. So they saw my posts on LinkedIn, and I sold my clients twice, once in software with big databases with Oracle, and the second time moving them to Melbourne. And I was able to sidestep the relocation people and not have to give them anything because I grabbed them before they even got their reload package. So you can be very smart about it. So don't forget about social media. Social media is really important. And I'm finding that it's better to do things right now on social media that's giving them little tidbits that will help them. And it gives them quality, not pick me, right? So there's a little bit of a different switch. So the more value you can bring to them, the better. And it is working out very well. And then do your door knocking and open houses and everything else that you're doing. But really, really important to get in the faces of your sphere and your past clients. They will be the easiest ones to get. The Fortune 500 has done tons and tons of studies over the years, and they know that it is cheaper for them to go and keep a current client and resell to them than to have to go find another client, right? I mean, that was preached to me back in 1996 when I first started selling software. They knew. They were like, Karina, we want to keep our clients. We need blah, blah, blah for our software to do. So if they do that, we should be doing that, right? So you really have to love the ones that you have and then keep growing that sphere and those clients. And in this market, you definitely don't want to miss that opportunity.
Great, awesome. Everybody's on fire today. So Dave asked me to go before him today, so I'm going to go before you, Dave. All right, so a couple of things. I could talk for 85 hours on this crap. Did I just call it crap? That's so not nice. I'm sorry. On this beautiful stuff we're talking about today.
This is great.
See, this is the oil. It just fires up my brain. All right. Firstly, before you do anything in your life, you have to understand, why do people use you as a realtor? There's only one reason. And it's not because they trust you, because they love you, because they like you, because they think you're cute, because they all think I'm cute, of course. At least the 80-year-olds do. It's because you happen to be in front of them when they're thinking about buying or selling. That is the only reason why they use you. Now, do you have a few loyal customers? Yes. I've sold over 1,000 homes, all just by making jokes, by the way. I have no idea what the hell I did. And I can count on one hand how many of them are loyal to me. The statistics from NAR is 88% of the consumers say they would use their realtor again, and only 11% do. How can someone like myself come into an area where I live and not know one person except my girlfriend who lived with me and her mother who owned a house? How could I come in here and sell 36 homes my first year if they were loyal to all their other customers, their agents, right? So they weren't. So you have to understand that. You also have to understand the sales process. Sales process for every single product in the world is the same. Capture leads. I don't care where you capture them, how you capture them, it's the exact same process. Capture leads, nurture leads, close a lead, and then create a customer for life. We really, really are bad at nurturing and creating a customer for life. We're really good at capturing leads, most of us, and having a sale. But that nurturing part, which is the majority of your leads, the not low-hanging fruit, are the ones where the gold is. And so where do you find those? For those that don't have any money, and I know I've said this before, and I'll say it again and again and again, you have more business sitting in your phone than you'll ever need the rest of your life, right? I mean, I just with a guy yesterday, 5,000 contacts when I was coaching. 5,000 contacts. The number of sales is 7 out of 100 of your contacts are going to buy or sell a home. But again, why do people use you? You have to be in front of them. I know a lot of you guys talk about monthly or or every other month or quarterly. I'm a believer you have to be in front of them every other week. And we do that through 2 different emails, as I've talked about before. I'm not going to get into that today, but 2 emails. One's a market update, and the next one 2 weeks later is top 10 things to do wherever you live. And it's not about the content at all. It's about the content. Now, with that said, if you do it too much, they don't like you either. So you've got to be careful. They just shut you down. It has to be something that's worthwhile. And finally, on this with lead conversion is so important. And every lead you get, there's a whole process of lead conversion, which we've talked about before, but I want to give you the most important part. Every person that's a buyer that's a lead has to be set up so they're getting listing updates from you. I don't care if it's through your website or through your MLS. They have to do that. You want to have broad searches so they're getting multiple emails per week on houses. They don't really want to see a whole bunch of drip campaigns that mean absolutely nothing. Nobody cares about gardening tips. Nobody cares about recipes. That's a surefire way to get people to stop talking to you. Nobody wants to read a book. So if you send them a 87 paragraph drip campaign email, it will not be done. And very important too is spacing. A lot of people, I sign up for drip campaigns just to see what people do. And I actually do a lot of laughing. I have to drink every time I read one because it's so funny. But I'll have someone that writes a block of words. Now, people that are ADD like me and Karina, because we decided yesterday we're soul friends, is you can't read that. You know what it looks like? It looks like when you send me a thing that has any paragraphs or spacing, it looks like those puzzles that have a bunch of letters and you try to find the words within the puzzles. That's what it looks like to me. So I just don't even read them. And I used to send back, hey, could you write this better? I don't even read them. I just delete them. So very, very important. So I want to give you one more word of advice before I hand it over to Mr. Lawson. See that respect you get, Dave? Everybody else is Larry or Brian or Yeva. I call you Mr. Lawson because you're, like the godfather here. So this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it popped into my brain and I want to share it real quick. When I was 23 years old, I made a lot of money. I was the third paintball business, the biggest paintball business in the country, back in 1983. And my buddy Joe's dad owned hotels. And he said, Mitch, now that you're making money, I want to give you some advice. But this is the best advice I didn't take. So if you're out there and you're listening to this, you need to do this. He goes, now that you're making money, I want you to buy a house every single year for the next 20 years. And I want you to, 20 years from now, I want you to sell the first 7 and pay off the other 13, and you'll never work another day in your life. Best advice I didn't use. And we're in the business. We should all, and I didn't do it. I still didn't do it. I'm actually a sucky landlord because I can't evict people. So I've had properties before and I pay their rent for them. I pay the mortgage for them and pay their rent for them because I feel bad and I can't kick them out. I can't do commercial because if you're a business guy and says, Mitch, business is bad, I can't do it. I'm not going to kick you out because I've been there before. So I just invest in other stuff now besides property, and I don't have 20 years left in my life. So I want to make sure if you're like Cam, you should be buying a house every single year for the next 20 years, sell the first 7, sell the first 7, pay off the other 13, and you'll have 13 rentals surviving the rest of your life. I know I'm speaking to the choir there with Brian, right? Anyways, that's what I got. Up to you, Mr. Lawson.
All right. Well, thank you. Man, I love what everybody said. And the reason that I decided to go last is I had several different things that I could share, but I wanted to share something different because I agree with Matt that, there's mailers and there's different things. And as we went through, I agreed with a lot. So I'm going to end this with a little bit of a story and to help everybody understand the power of prospecting. So first of all, gang, if you're in the real estate business, you're in the sales business, yes or yes?
Yes.
Right? So I say nothing happens until a sale is made. So you have to figure out a way to make sales. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to say, and I know one thing for sure that Cam is going to agree with me. You need to know your numbers, right, Cam? Gang, you need to know your numbers. And by the way, you need to know your numbers. What does that mean? So I told you I was going to start with a story, and 10 to 20 years ago, I kept track of every single person that I talked to. And basically, over a 10-year period, I found out that, and this was before I was a Zillow Flex partner, and before there was all of these lead generation and all that stuff. But it came down to knowing your numbers is this. I would call 108 people and I would get a deal. Now, then it went down in the last 10 years, it's gone down less. And now I'm significantly less than that, but I'm just going to use the number. You call 100 people and you get one deal. Okay, everybody following me? So the other thing about real estate is jam-packed with failure. People ask me, there's 10,000 or so homes in Park City. We've sold 3,520 of them. So not bragging, we just say, so we have a little bit of experience, right? So, but agents and people would say, Dave, how did you sell so much real estate? You know, my answer was, I just failed more than anybody else. We have to learn to fail. Okay. I went to a coaching seminar last Wednesday, and they had this thing on stage, and it was really, really profound. So one of them, there was a banner on the left and a banner on the right. One said success and one said failure, right? And then there was an arrow going to failure, and then there was an arrow going to success. So if I asked all you, who wants to fail and who wants to succeed, we're all going to say what? We all want to succeed. In the presentation, they switched it around and they had an arrow going to failure, which was another arrow that went to success. So we need to learn to fail. So that goes on to my next thing that was life-changing, hands down, best thing to learn with your numbers. And that's your mindset. So if somebody asks me, Matt, when you ask me, Dave, how are you today? And what do I always say? Better than terrific, right? Isn't that what I say? And so if you have a mindset like that, it really helps you. And I'm going to tell you why, and you're going to understand. The problem with the real estate business is most people are so fearful of failing that they don't do their job. Because think of it. I talked to 108 people, and 107 of them said, well, some of them might even hang up on me. Some of them might say, I'm not interested. Some of them say no. Some of them say not now. Some of them say whatever. If I call somebody and they're not ready to buy, are you going to convince them to buy? And the answer is no. I can't remember who said it. You have to be in front of people when they're ready to buy, right? So think about your mindset. So why in the world would you prospect if you fail 107 times and you only win once? Right? Who wants to sign up for that? No way, right? No, wrong. This is the whole point. So in my marketplace, the average sale, it's over $1 million, but it doesn't matter. You guys can do your own math. That's called doing your numbers. Right, Cam? So let's just use round numbers. I call 100. Let's just say I call 100. I don't call 100 people and get a deal. It's way less now. But let's just say that I call 100 people, 99 people say no, one person says yes. Does it really change the numbers? No, I'm still failing almost every single time, right? But if you change your mindset, so Cam, I'm picking on you today, all right? So if you make 30,000, if you call 100 people and you make $30,000, that's pretty good, right? So if your
Yeah,
mindset
absolutely.
is on the end goal, it's not on the focusing on the 99 failures. But I take it to one more step, and that is this. So, hey, Cam, you want to buy a house today? Click, hang up on you. How much is that phone call? How much did I get paid for that hang up or that person that said no? Nothing, right? But if you do the numbers for the whole 100, what is 30,000 divided by 100 people that you call? It's $300. So in my mind, I love to play tricks with my mind to help me have a positive attitude and to do my job. So let's turn that around, Cam. Cam, who wants to make $300 every time they dial the phone and somebody picks up and says hello? Now, actually, in the way I did it, is the person on the other line had to be the person I was trying to get a hold of and not a 8-year-old kid when we used to call landlines, right? Somebody that could make a decision. Okay, so if you changed your thought and said, wow, I make $300 every time somebody says no, do you think that might change your mindset to get to 100?
Right.
Right?
That's great.
So then, I tell people that you all have a job that is called prospecting, and you all can make 300. Let's say you're in a market that the average is 500. So you only make $150 every time you make that call, right? That's the way it is. So the thing is you have to understand this concept. You make the calls to win. And the other thing is if you know, and you're going to do this, I'm going to end with this part of the story. So who wants to do one deal this year? It's simple. All you have to do in 1 year is talk to 100 people and you will do one deal.
Right.
Who wants to do a deal every month? Who wants 12 deals a year? It's simple. All you have to do is talk to 100 people in the next 30 days. Who wants a deal this week? What's the simple math say? Talk to 100 people this week and you get a deal a week.
Yep.
And lastly, my alarm just went off. I have 1 minute left. Lastly, who wants a deal today? All you have to do is talk to 100 people today and you'll get one deal. See, that's breaking it down and knowing your numbers like nobody else.
Yep.
Right? So the thing is it's your mindset that will determine the outcome. And I can tell you that the more no's you get, the ratio of yeses goes way up, right? Because it's all practice. So let's all do our job and let's talk to the people. And remember, there's 100 things to do in real estate, yes or yes. There's only 4 that make you money. You have to have a plan. P is prospect. L is lead follow-up. A is appointments with buyers and sellers. And N is negotiating. Okay? If you do those 4 activities, and if you're a professional real estate agent, you should be doing those activities 70% of your day. And if you do, you will be a rock star. Thank you.
Awesome, Dave. That's great stuff. You guys should be listening to him. Look at how handsome it is. He's only 27 years old too. Brian, did you have something you wanted to add? Yeah, we only got a few
Oh.
seconds.
I know we're out of time. I got a bonus minute tip. It's only for you guys. No, everybody online that's watching, just close your ears. You don't get this one. Okay, this is just for this crew right here. Dave, you said something that was so powerful. We had we all have our prospect list. We had a second list. I didn't get to bring it up earlier. I want all of you to think about this. This is a really advanced tip that took a while to understand. Wealthy people, the ones you think who are wealthy. Matt, if you called a client that I said, hey, Matt, call your wealthiest client. And you called them and said, hey, I'm calling you because I see you as a wealthy person. But who do you consider wealthy? You know what they'll say? They all have somebody they think of that's not in our database that they think is wealthy. And they will tell you, oh, my friend so-and-so, he's a billionaire or he's a 100 millionaire. Wealthy people love to refer to wealthy people amazing opportunities. I learned that I had an apartment complex for sale for 20 plus units. And I called my wealthiest clients and I didn't ask them to be the buyer. All I said was, hey, who do you consider a wealthy person that might like to know about a really good deal on 20 units? Oh, you should call my friend Joe. Would it be okay if I call your friend Joe, but told him that you said to call him? We built a prospecting list that we only touched when we had gold. We never even went to these people unless we had gold. And they all valued the gold because we didn't waste their time. It was a prospecting list that you might call once a year, but it was a 6-figure list. I can guarantee you that list is a 6-figure list if you nurture it properly.
That's great. Love it. Love it. I'm going to leave you with this real quick before we go. Henry Ford, one of my favorite people of all time, invented these cars a couple years ago. And he says, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. It's really that simple. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else is going to believe in you. So you need to get your mind in the right place. Mindset is everything we talked about fails without proper mindset. So have a great week, guys. We'll see you all next Thursday. And do not be evil this weekend, because I will be. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys. Great job. That was great.
See you guys.